Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is our kind of mini show where we just go over some of the themes of the week that we ran over in L1 Links with Friends.
One of our favorite themes.
Yeah.
And by favorite, we mean, why is no one paying attention to this?
Favorite to point out.
And then feel like we're screaming into a void because nobody cares. And they just keep revealing more and more legislation and
But you care because you're watching and sharing with your friends.
Now, sometimes this stuff will be papered over. It'll fly under the radar. But this one was a major news story because everybody is kind of against this idea. Like, they're just against the current administration, right? Like, everybody's upset. Everybody hated that. And here we are with a horrible draconian new law that is going to get signed.
Congress passes the Take It Down Act despite major flaws because everyone in Congress is too old to remember the computer. They don't use a computer, so it doesn't affect them. But this is annoying and stupid because it's a shoot first and ask questions later kind of thing.
It affects them, but it allows them to remove political speech or any kind of speech that is even vaguely mean about them.
And demonstrably, the DMCA has been abused widely by corporations and those in power to silence those that are lodging fair and reasonable criticism.
And, of course, the argument is the same argument we've gotten with every Orwellian speech law that's ever come about. And Europe, the UK, they're getting this kind of thing. And it is, we got to protect the kids. What will the kids do if we don't give them the ability to turn off anything that makes them unhappy?
Weirdly, though, all these schools are taking the phones away from kids. It's like, oh, kids don't belong on the internet. Yeah, that's more reasonable.
No.
At least while they're at school.
No, we must have kids on the internet, and we must instead make you all prove who you are. You must be tracked to prove that you are not a kid. But before we talk about that, because I sorted them
that would have been a really good segue.
You know what? Forget it. We'll go out of order. Let's skip all the way over to here.
North Carolina bill would require people to share their IDs with social media companies. So, on the one hand, if you're at a convenience store and it's like, hey, can I see your ID to make sure that you can buy beer? That is not terribly unreasonable. And if there were a digital version of that, that wouldn't be terribly unreasonable. The problem with this is that everything is tracked forever. And once your identity is known, you give up so much metadata when it's like, here's my ID, here's what I prove. There's a copy of that that's going to be retained, and then that is going to be associated forward and backward in time with your identity. And then that becomes a problem because as we see here, if you've ever said anything critical or even just a joke, it is treated very vindictively in the highly polarized environment we find ourselves in these days.
And some people will argue, now in this case, maybe not so much because Trump has been very vocal that he wants to use this to go after people who are saying bad things about him. Like, he's been kind of honest about that. But some people might argue that's like, hey, it's not about censorship. It's about protecting the kids. Well, we've got some evidence that governments, when they're given the ability to censorship, they do.
Government censorship becomes to blue sky, but it's not third-party apps yet. This is Turkey. Turkey has asked people to be taken down. Remember when X was banned in Brazil for not taking things down? Imagine the Brazilian government being able to track down the real-world identities of everybody that liked a post that said, hey, what's going on with our government right now in Brazil is not reasonable, and we the people should take action to do something. And it's like, oh, here's a conveniently made list of all the people that you need to hunt down one at a time because we've got their IDs.
You just got on that list because you said we need to take action. And it's like, well.
And the whole concept of what's the truth, right? What is objectively true? We've entered into a world where that's up for debate. Nobody can agree on objective truths, and they'll do anything they can to influence the argument.
U.S. Attorney for D.C. accuses Wikipedia of propaganda and threatens a nonprofit status. Sure, Wikipedia is lefty, but I don't know that rises to the level of propaganda any more than Senior Musk's X rises to the level of propaganda. Or maybe they're both.
And it all seems to boil down to, hey, we can't take a risk of people saying things that are untrue, so we're going to have to just surveil everything. And in the past, that was maybe too much of a task. But now we have AI, and we have a massive data center build out. So you know what? Let's just track everybody doing everything.
Sam Altman's eye-scanning ID project launches in the U.S. with 6 locations. And again, you give up your identity, and they'll be able to track you from that point forward, but also associate all of the past captured and logged activity with that profile now with an identity. And if you don't think that actually happens, you should look into some of the credit card company data breaches and some of that kind of thing. Because even when you buy one-time use credit cards, there's a bank that does it, but your identity is still associated with those one-time use credit card numbers on the financial institution side, maybe not on the retailer side, but it's still there, still in the database.
Now they're going to bribe you with actual cryptocurrency, but also they're going to offer you the ability to get past those checks, like the North Carolina one. Like when you get blocked off of Facebook,
because you won't give them a driver's license or whatever, it's like, oh, no,
Yeah.
just use your eye.
Hey, don't worry about the driver's license. Just come over here to the Sam Altman orb and stick your face in it. We'll give you a couple of bucks while you're at it. And people are going to take that easy thing. But like last week, remember we talked about the actor who sold his AI rights for $1,000? Oh boy, did he regret that. And you were going to regret the world coin if you go into that world. Because surveillance is it's a panopticon, and we're already there.
Car subscription features raise your risk of government surveillance, police records show. Because again, once that digital footprint, once all of this information logged and all of these systems can be associated with your identity through your car, your driving record, your location data, everything else, it's fair game. If you complain innocently about an unjust situation, there is definitely a chilling effect when people show up at your door, even if it's just to intimidate you. It's like, oh, yeah, no, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything illegal, but we tracked you down.
And maybe I don't know why you'd be watching this, but maybe you just reject everything digital and you're like, no, I've already protected myself from that. I'm just not getting involved in social media. I'm divorced from all of it. Well, you're not, because society is moving towards censorship and you're not going to escape it.
Book bans aren't stopping at libraries now. Texas is targeting bookstores. The new bill introduced in Texas, and as we commented in the episode of the news, is like, oh, explicit content in books.
Or just nudity, which I pointed out. Fellowship of the Ring classifies as nudity because the hobbits are nude in one scene.
A lot of Stephen King's works would be banned. Catcher in the Rye, I'm sure, would be banned. To Kill a Mockingbird. All the classics. Well, hell,
the Bible would be banned.
The teachings of Aristotle would be banned because it's like, no, we'll
Song
talk
of
about
Songs
that.
is pretty spicy.
Yeah,
It's stupid.
Pretty dark.
yeah. It's like it almost feels like the polarization has been weaponized in order to make it impossible for reasonable people to be reasonable.
Who gets to define who's reasonable, though? That's the next battleground.
By Texas's definition, it's reasonable to ban books.
I feel like all of the stuff that everybody seems concerned about in all of the media that I see is just like, this is completely insane. Like none of this is, it's so far extreme to be completely disconnected from the normal everyday lived experience of the individual. So it's like a reality TV show that's mocking actual reality, but is in fact driving actual reality.
It's like the argument that intolerance is the only thing that's intolerable, which is, so it's like, oh, look, those people over there are being unreasonable. Let's burn them.
Just like we're burning all those books in the bookstore.
It's the perfect fuel, right? Two birds, one stone.
I have faith that there's enough reasonable people that something interesting will happen with the reasonable people. I dare not articulate what.
We're in interesting times.
They're gonna be on a list. Is what we just covered.
It would be kind of validating, though, to find out that you're on the interesting list, but also terrifying.
Yeah. It's like, oh, cool. Oh, great. Anyway, that's it.
Engage below whether you are not on the list. Add some noise to the signal. Woo!
Get on the list by leaving a comment below. Bye.